can count on. Way 31 News at 10 starts now.
It's official. Professional soccer will kick off in Huntsville next May. We are bringing you team coverage on what you can expect.
Hearing delayed when Casey White is now set to officially be charged for the murder of the former corrections officer who helped him escape.
A major drug dealer now off the streets. The months-long investigation that led to the arrest of a man investigators say was the primary supplier of drugs in eastern Lawrence County. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dan Schaefer.
And I'm Nicole Williams. We start tonight with Huntsville City Council's vote to lease Joe Davis Stadium to a pro soccer league out of Nashville. Tonight, we're bringing you team coverage on that vote. Wake 31 Sports Director Nolan Knight will go over the team that's coming here.
But first, we start with Way 31's Nicole Zedek. She goes over the goal of this new contract and how people in the Bay Area, or in the area rather, are already reacting.
Well, there's still a lot of work to be done here at Joe Davis Stadium. You know, they might even add some lights soon so you can actually see the construction behind me. And once it's all complete in May, that's when a brand new MLS Next Pro soccer team will be here at the stadium. And city council members aren't the only ones excited about this deal. Local soccer players say it's going to completely elevate the game.
We never would have thought about getting a real, MLS team here. Like, that's not something I ever would have thought would have happened in my lifetime.
For soccer enthusiasts like Chris Shoemate with the North Alabama Soccer Coalition, professional soccer in his hometown is a dream come true.
It's all here at home, and I think that does a tremendous thing for helping grow the game in Huntsville, Madison, and just North Alabama.
But it's more than just soccer on the field. The multi-sport facility will use temporary paint to stripe the field from soccer to lacrosse and, of course, high school football.
On Friday night, there's a great high school football game. We're out there watching May Jemison or Huntsville High or Grissom High or whatever it may be. And then Sunday afternoon, you're watching professional soccer on a field that is striped solely for soccer.
Joe Davis Stadium will be operated by a new Division III soccer team affiliated with the Nashville Soccer Club. They'll lease the stadium from the city for the next 10 years, maintaining and operating the facility as well.
They're going to pay for the privilege of managing and operating the stadium. That's great.
For us to have like an MLS level team come into our neighborhood or into our city, I think is gonna change everything.
Inspiring more people to tie up their cleats and join a team.
It's just a fun game. It's one of the best games you can play. You can't get bored playing the game.
Although everyone is eager to get the ball rolling here at Joe Davis Stadium, the city wanted to emphasize that although it's the team affiliated with the Nashville Soccer Club that's going to operate the stadium, it's still a community asset, and community members will be able to rent out the stadium for any community events, and Friday night football gets first priority starting next August. Reporting live in Huntsville, Nicole Zedek, Way 31 News.
Exciting. Thanks, Nicole. Joe Davis Stadium expects to wrap up construction in May, and professional soccer could start playing in the stadium as soon as it opens.
Way 31 Sports Director Nolan Knight joins us now to give us a look at the team that'll be running the field.
Yeah, that's right, guys. It's awesome for the sports scene here in North Alabama. I can tell you that firsthand. The soccer culture, as they were just talking about, is already booming, and there are multiple leagues around the city and plenty of fans of the sport as well. With the passing of the team, it adds yet another professional sports team to the city, as well as the sports scene here in North Alabama. So with the passing of the bill, the Rocket City will be adding that MLS Next Pro team. And you might ask, well, what is MLS Next? Well, it's a youth soccer league in the United States and Canada that's run by the MLS. Some of you might have heard of academy teams. That's not quite what this is. It's the MSL Next Pro team. These are young players and experienced professionals that are working their way into the MLS. The MLS Next Pro team, or rather league, began its inaugural season just this past March and featured 21 clubs. Huntsville looks to be the latest addition to this new league. Some teams have taken the form of their parent team and their namesake, like Columbus Crew 2, while others have their own identity, like the Real Monarchs, who are Real Salt Lake's team. No word yet on what the team in Huntsville will be called, but they will, of course, be using Joe Davis Stadium. The team is set to begin play right here next year. Very exciting.
Inciting indeed. Thanks, Nolan. During tonight's meeting, the City Council also took a moment to honor longtime Huntsville activist Jackie Reed.
There was a moment of silence at the beginning of the meeting, and then they made her the honorary mayor for the meeting. Reed will be laid to rest Saturday. Her family says a visitation will be tomorrow at Berry Hill Funeral Home. 5 minutes after 10, a beautiful night to wrap up a hot day here across North Alabama. You're taking a look at us, actually. We are inching closer to the weekend, just one more day.
8:31 meteorologist Rob Elvington joins us now with what we can expect as we head out the door tomorrow morning.
Yeah, almost as good of a view as this nearly full moon as we look off to the southeast from downtown Decatur. Of course, that full moon was yesterday, but this is the view right now. And we're seeing mostly clear skies, just a few passing high clouds. Already down to 73 degrees, so that drier than normal air allowing for those temperatures to drop pretty quickly here this evening. Of course, we're all dry on the way 31. Storm tracker early warning radar network. We were dry all day today. If we put this into animation, all the showers and storms have been off to our south, closer to the cold front that moved through last night. We're just seeing some of those clouds just scrape by, but again, we're not expecting any rainfall through the overnight hours and into your Friday morning. And we have dry enough air in place that should limit the fog formation here in the overnight hours. I'm not expecting as much of the dense fog like we saw this morning as you head out the door tomorrow. How about the high for tomorrow? We're back up to 95. It's going to be hot, but again, we still have that dry air in place, so we'll call it tolerable humidity. But the moisture starts to move back in this weekend, and that also brings back some rain chances. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Rob, thank you. At 10, a major drug dealer now off the streets. Lawrence County Sheriff's deputies arrested Jonathan Strickland this afternoon after searching his home. Here's what they found: nearly a pound of meth, guns, prescription pills, and a lot of money. Investigators say Strickland was the primary source of drugs in eastern Lawrence County. And they've been investigating him for months after receiving several complaints through their anonymous tip line. Deputies in Morgan County are concerned now about counterfeit drugs on the streets. That's after they seized thousands of pills being sent through the mail. They were labeled as Xanax, but may be laced with fentanyl. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office says they've seen an 850% increase in fentanyl seizures over the last 15 months.
The court hearing for the man who escaped the Lauderdale County Jail with a former corrections officer was delayed this afternoon. Casey White will now be arraigned in December. It was originally supposed to happen next month. White will be officially charged for the murder of Vicky White, who helped him escape jail. The murder indictment says Casey caused Vicky White's death when she shot herself. This followed a police chase in Evansville, Indiana. A former nurse will now spend the rest of her life in prison. Marjorie Capello was sentenced today. She was convicted of poisoning her husband, James, with insulin that she stole from the hospital where she worked in Athens.
New tonight, a man is out of jail on bond after being charged with 121 counts of child pornography. Kevin Davis is set to appear in court next month on all those charges. According to court documents, investigators with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office found 121 images on his cell phone. This teenager is now in jail after Red Bay police say he had sex with a child under the age of 12. 18-year-old Paul Trinkle is facing sodomy and child sex abuse charges. He was arrested yesterday after the child's parents notified police about the alleged abuse. Tonight, new concerns about a very transmissible COVID variant now sweeping the nation.
ABC's Morgan Norwood goes over some of the steps some areas are taking because of the rise in cases.
With the BA.5 variant quickly spreading around the country, the nation's largest county is bringing back its mask mandate in 2 weeks. Residents in Los Angeles County now bracing for the change.
The only way to combat these surges of what's going on is you have to be as prudent and careful as possible.
The latest CDC data confirms that Los Angeles County, home to 10 million people, is seeing, quote, high COVID transmission, meaning there's high potential for healthcare system strain and a high level of severe disease. The federal agency suggests wearing masks in indoor public places, including schools. Hospitalizations in Los Angeles County now up 88%. In New York City, where new cases are up 30% in the past 2 weeks, officials have done away with their color-coded COVID alert system, but are now working on a new one, many not willing to take a step back.
I don't feel like I need to wear a mask at this point.
The latest spread fueled by the highly transmissible Omicron subvariant BA.5. It has health experts on alert.
The thing about BA.5 that is disconcerting is that it is able to escape some of the immune protection that you get from prior infection as well as vaccination.
From coast to coast, 3/4 of Americans now living in counties at medium or high risk of COVID. The CDC now urging people in those high-risk areas to mask up indoors and those in medium-risk areas to consider masking based on individual risk. One of the best forms of protection against this BA.5 subvariant, vaccines. According to new data, 78.5% of the total U.S. population has received at least one dose, and 67% of the total population is fully vaccinated.
The good news is that vaccinated and boosted people, particularly those who receive the full component of the boosting, are generally pretty well protected against severe disease.
Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Here in North Alabama, Redstone Arsenal is also making masking mandatory because of a rise in cases.
The state health department reports almost 30% of all tests are coming back positive. They've added more than 11,000 cases in the last week. Hospital admissions are also going up, with more than 600 people being treated right now.
Gun crimes on the rise among kids, but there might not be enough room for them in juvie. The new agreement made to free up space in overpopulated detention centers.
Also, have you noticed your pine trees suddenly turn brown? The fungus causing the issue and how you can stop it.
And the latest U.S. drought monitor came down earlier this morning, so we'll take a look at that. And we're also tracking that heat building in for the weekend, but also the chances for rain. Details coming up.
We're working to learn the name of the person who died in a wreck this afternoon. This happened at the intersection of Bethel and Old Schoolhouse Roads near Ardmore. State troopers are investigating the wreck. And right now, state fire marshals are trying to figure out what caused an early morning fire that left a child dead. It happened yesterday off of Todd Ridge Road in Albertville. The coroner says the child was a 7-year-old girl. They aren't releasing her name.
Gun crimes among juveniles are on the rise, but there might not be enough room for them in juvie. The Morgan County Commission chairman says the Tennessee Valley Detention Center in Tuscumbia is full, and it's been like that for the past 6 months. That's why the commission approved a new partnership to send kids who get in trouble to the detention center in Cullman. The county will pay the Cullman County facility $85 a day for a bed. New tonight, a federal judge ruled the execution of an Alabama inmate will move forward. Joe James Jr. will be given a lethal injection on July 28th. He was convicted of killing his one-time girlfriend, Faith Hall, decades ago. James claims his constitutional rights are being violated because Alabama is not setting execution dates for inmates who chose nitrogen hypoxia as their execution method.
New at 10, Bank of America is being fined over $200 million for poor handling of unemployment benefits during the pandemic. The company set up a new automatic system for catching fraud in late 2020, but that fraud filter was faulty and unlawfully freezing customers' prepaid unemployment benefit accounts. Bank of America will have to repay those impacted by the mistake. It could add up to hundreds of millions of dollars. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits hit its highest level in nearly 8 months. 244,000 Americans filed jobless claims last week. Nearly 4,000 of those claims came from right here in Alabama. And if you're looking for a job, you'll want to listen up to this. There will be a relaunch career fair at Jemison High School next week. It'll be Monday from 4 to 6 in the afternoon and Tuesday morning from 9 to 1. You just have to show up. More than 40 companies will be there. They're all listed on the Huntsville-Madison County Chamber of Commerce website.
New tonight, food waste is costing you billions of dollars a year. Forbes magazine reports up to 40% of food in America goes to waste. That's $400 billion worth every year. And taxpayers end up paying for all that waste. One reason corporations don't do more to cut down on waste is that discarded inventory counts as a tax deduction. People in the northwest and northeast sections of Alabama may have noticed their pine trees turning brown. The Alabama Forestry Commission believes it's because of a fungus known as brown spot needle blight. They've confirmed it in more than half of Alabama counties so far. It can be killed using prescribed burns, but that's only effective for longleaf pine seedlings. The commission says it's unsure why the disease started infecting other pine trees, but it could be a new subspecies from the original fungus pest. If you believe your pines are infected, you can contact your local Forestry Commission office to get your tree tested.
Weather coverage you can count on with meteorologist Rob Elvington and the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
And something that, of course, can stress the trees and also crops throughout North Alabama is drought and heat. And there was another hot one today, just a couple of degrees above our long-term average, but bringing it back up to 93 for both Huntsville and Muscle Shoals after seeing the mid-80s yesterday. But take a look at our meteorological summer so far. So that starts on June 1st. It goes all the way through today, July 14th. Of course, that ends on the last day of August, but so far we are the second warmest summer on record to date for Huntsville and 7th driest. And again, this includes today's data. That goes back to 1937. And the latest U.S. drought monitor came down here this morning. These are released every single Thursday morning. And we had a slight expansion of some moderate drought on the map. That's what the tan indicates. The yellow is abnormally dry conditions. And then you'll notice that orange just off to the west, just barely touches parts of Lauderdale County. That is severe drought. And the data cutoff for this map is Tuesday. So that rain that we saw early Wednesday morning, it's not included in this week's release. We'll see if we have any changes with the next Thursday. There's a look at the Way 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network. The cold front that came through about this time last night, it's sagging just off to our south, nearly stationary at this point. And you'll notice that we still have a few lingering showers and storms off to our southwest into Mississippi, but we have been dry all day today. We've had that drier air moving in behind the cold front, making for tolerable conditions here for the middle of July in North Alabama. And it's going to be a hot one tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. Make sure you have that sun protection, but we still have some of that dry air in place. So at least the humidity is not terrible as we we wrap up the work week. There's a look at the humidity tracker. You'll notice the browns on the map. Again, that's drier than normal air. Again, great conditions for the middle of July. But the green's just off to our south. That's that muggy, humid air. That's going to slowly start to move back in by Saturday and into Sunday. So not only will it be uncomfortable in the afternoon hours, but that's also going to give us a little bit more moisture for some pop-up showers and storms. Better chances by Sunday and into Monday. So there's a look at future radar. I'm not expecting as much fog tomorrow morning as what we saw this morning. Drier air should help things out, but those low-lying spots could see a little bit of fog for your morning commute. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny skies. Again, we should easily make it up to the mid-90s tomorrow, if not the upper 90s. And then by Saturday, if you look off to the south and southeast, we're starting to see a few of those storms getting close to North Alabama with that moisture starting to move back in. But for most areas, you're going to have to hold off until Sunday. Best chances on Sunday will be west of I-65. And then by Monday, we have better chances for everyone. You'll notice even rain moving in by the morning commute. And with all that rain moving in, that should easily make Monday the coolest day of the next 7. I'm going with 87, but if the rain's already moving in by the morning hours, we could see highs staying closer to the low to mid 80s. But once that moves out, we quickly start to warm back up. We're back up to 91 on Tuesday and then back to the mid 90s on Wednesday and Thursday. It's just been a hot summer so far. And with a little bit of relief on Monday, it's not going to last long. Again, we're just going to continue to see that heat building in.
A local